Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesus Junk Journals, and it is Free Friday. So I have these here and I thought, I'm just going to use these. So I'm going to start out with these black scraps and use my matte gel. And see if I can just sprinkle those on. Just random for fun, because it feels fun to do that. And hopefully I don't regret it later. And I know when the glue dries, this is gonna show up darker, I hope. Okay, so there's my base. I'm gonna let that dry and then I'll come back. Okay, so before I put this one away, I've changed my mind. I've got this page over here that's going to be something separate. But I am going to go ahead and put some cheesecloth on this page because I've been thinking about that for a while. So I'm just going to go ahead. I have no idea how that'll end up, but this is tea stained, or actually coffee stained cheesecloth. And just get my matte gel medium here to get it to stick down, hopefully, in some form or fashion. Stick that down, tack this side down, and maybe just kind of, all right, so now I'm going to stop it and let it dry. Okay, we're back. This is dry. And so this is really loose. And so I'm going to do something that I might regret. I'm going to paint this. It's got gesso on it. I'm going to spray my sprays and see what it does to this cloth that's not stuck down, and see what happens. So this could be a huge mistake, or it could be really cool. We'll see. We will see what happens. So maybe I'll start subtle. I'll start with this kind of coral. This is vintage pink of the Glimmer Mist, Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. And I always start off kind of quiet, and then it ends up, everything gets kind of crazy. This one is Coral Reef. So they're really pretty similar, but I'm just going to see what happens when I spray this. And I think that if I spray it, and I bet if I let it dry, it'd probably get stiffer, and then that would, because see, this is, okay, so it's just not really doing anything too drastic. Okay, so actually I'm probably wasting my mica by doing it over cloth, because it's not going to shimmer and shine, at least not at this point, I don't think. It might where it's stuck. So I like the color it added though. Okay, well, I'm going to let that dry. So then over on this side, I think I'm going to use some of my the High Flow acrylics, and one of my favorites, the Nickel Azo Gold Quinacridone. I don't know if I pronounced. Oh, and I do this every time I use it because I don't seal it right. It goes everywhere. Okay, let's see. Let me use my sprays. Let me get my cloth. Let me get my cloth on that, because, you know, I don't want to waste anything. So let me get this cloth to blot that up. Okay, good enough. All right, and it went across that. So we'll see about that. I may end up spraying this side with water too. So let me go back to this. Good grief. Okay, try it again. So I'm just gonna squirt this out and get my water spray. Oops. Lid off. I just love this color. It's like rust. Rust. Okay, I'm gonna let it stop. I don't want it to be uniform. I want it to be, you know, have some white areas. So I'm gonna let these dry. Let me see what happens if I spray this over here. Not much. That cloth kind of stops it from running, sort of. Well, I guess it sort of spreads it out. Huh. Ooh, let me try. Let me just keep messing with this. Okay, so put a big bunch of that on just to see what happens. And then spray it until it's wet enough to move, which is going to have to be pretty wet. With that cloth. Ooh, okay. Okay. Well, it really just kind of looks like rust, doesn't it? Which is fine. All right. So it runs on the parts that are glued down, and then the parts that stick up make a texture. Cool. Okay. All right, so I'm going to let those dry, and then I will be back. This has dried, and got a piece of this black paper stuck down on here. So I've been looking at quotes that I want to put on here. And this, I have a quote from Psalm 78, and it's kind of long, and it's verses 1 through 4. And I thought, well, this kind of lends itself to that, because this looks kind of like a scroll or an ancient writing, maybe paper. But since it's so long, I think that I'm going to write it out on paper and then cut it up and glue it over the top of it. Okay, well, I had to come back upstairs and shoot this little video to show you my finished product because I thought I had the camera on, but I did not. So here's how this ended up. I ended up trimming a lot more away from the paper because I wanted the cheesecloth to show. So I think it works for me. I went ahead and used vintage photo distress ink and went over the paper because it was just too white and it stood out too much. Anyway, this is how it ended up. So pretty happy with it. And this one I'm going to leave for next time and try to figure out what to do with it because this was just kind of a random starting point. So we'll see if I can figure out what to do. So thanks for watching. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye-bye.